When working as a health, fitness, or wellness professional, you're going to see clients who are having significant liver issues. The good news is that the liver is pretty much one of the most regenerative organs that we have in the human body. And there's steps you can help those clients take that'll have their liver working a little bit more like it did back when they were a whippersnapper. So in this video, I'm going to share 4 steps you can help your clients take to revive their liver. Also know that people don't really say whippersnapper anymore. I can't recommend saying that.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
Now, to understand the first and probably the most important step to revive a liver, we need to talk a little bit about how the liver is supposed to work. Now, most of your clients already know that the liver's job is to filter out filth and toxins. Anything that the body views as a toxin, the liver's going to filter it out. What a lot of your clients don't know is the liver takes that filth and it puts it into the bile that it produces. So bile is this soapy substance that the liver makes and then it stores in the gallbladder, and that helps us kind of digest our food. It helps us break down or emulsify our dietary fats and a lot of other functions. And that filth goes into the bile, and then as the bile moves through the intestinal tract, it's carrying those filth and toxins and it puts them out the back door when we poop like a champion. So this bile is a really big deal. The problem is the way that our clients are eating and their environment and the stress that they're dealing with, there's a lot of factors that can thicken up this bile so it won't flow correctly. So when bile is too thick and sticky to flow correctly, those toxins aren't going out the back door. All those toxins get reassimilated into the system, and then the liver's got to filter it out all over again. The liver filters out the same thing over and over again, and it gets overwhelmed and it can't handle all the other jobs that it has to do. It can't handle making the cholesterol that we need. It can't handle converting T4 to T3 so our thyroid can function. So if the liver has all these jobs, but one of its job it's doing over and over again, and it puts all the focus on getting overwhelmed with that broken situation, doesn't that make sense that the liver's not going to be able to do all of its other jobs? Doesn't it make sense that the health of that liver would decline? So making sure that bile is thin enough to flow correctly becomes the most important step you can take with your clients when you want the body to be able to detox the way that it should and allow the liver to function the way that it should. We'll talk more in a minute about how to thin that bile so it can flow better, but if a client's having liver issues, in most cases this one step is going to bring about more response than just about anything else you can do. But let's look at step number 2, which is to change the carbohydrates and sugars that are being consumed. You know, a couple decades ago, we never saw fatty liver unless it was alcoholics, so we called it alcoholic fatty liver disease. But then people started showing up about 10 years ago like, hey, I got a fatty liver too and I don't even drink. What are you guys going to call that? And so we were like, I don't know, I guess we call it non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. But they viewed this fatty liver disease as a problem from alcoholics because, of course, they're putting all these alcohol through the body, and liver's got to filter it out, it's this poison, and it creates this disease. What they didn't understand is part of the problem with that alcohol is that it's a liquid form of sugar, and it processes in the body just like a liquid sugar would. And the problem with liquid sugars is that they hit the body harder and faster. It's going to create a bigger sugar spike, which is going to bring about a bigger insulin response, and that high insulin can create a lot of inflammation and problems in the body. So all of a sudden they kind of changed our soda and they're like, let's not put sugar in here, let's put this high fructose corn syrup that has like hundreds of times the amount of sugar basically, and the body's going to have it react like hundreds of times the amount of sugar. And now all of a sudden people drinking all these liquid sugars that are a different type of Franken sugar are having this alcoholic fatty liver disease when they're not even an alcoholic. Also, a lot of our carbohydrates changed. We got all this high fructose corn syrup in all of our processed junk food, and people are just eating a lot more carbohydrates than we did before. So as these carbohydrates go high and they're creating all of this excess sugar, there's only a limited amount of sugar that the body can store in the liver and tissues in the form of glycogen that can be used for fuel later. Any carbohydrates above that small storage space get turned into saturated fats, and they get stored in the system. So this is the cause of the fatty liver issue. It's excess carbohydrates, excess sugars, and especially liquid sugars. So it can be a difficult transition, but sometimes we have to help clients understand, look, you're not in the 8th grade anymore. It's not time to be drinking soda every day like it's going out of style. You're going to be a grown-up, and we're going to drink this stuff called water. I don't know if you've heard about this, but I want you to drink some water. So sometimes we have to help clients make a little bit of change, but these changes can bring about some drastic results. And a lot of clients aren't going to be able to just drop the carbs, because if they're having digestive issues and they can't break down proteins and fats correctly, the only way they can get fuel is by these carbohydrates. So they're going to be addicted to these carbs, and they're not going to be able to drop them, but you can help them change them out for real food carbs and more what I call medium carb foods like sweet potatoes and butternut squash and yams and Brussels sprouts, things that have the carbohydrates that will allow them to function a little bit, but not such high carbohydrates and starches that it creates this huge spike in sugar and huge spike in insulin. It's keeping that insulin high all day, creating inflammation all day. So if you can help them gravitate towards these real food carbohydrates, they can see a lot of improvement that way as well. Shut up, phone. I'm talking to people about liver stuff. Step number 3 is to help clients remove the vegetable oils from their life. These are toxic oils that they should not be using. And we know this as health professionals. Most health professionals are getting the information now that science has proven that these vegetable oils are very toxic. They create a lot of inflammation and oxidation in the liver, and they're problematic. We should not be consuming them. It was a huge mistake. But information like this will take decades to make it to the mainstream. So a lot of your clients still don't understand that canola oil is not their friend. You need to help them look and say, take this canola oil and just put it in your trash can and see what it looks like there. If it looks okay, go ahead and leave it in the trash can. Go ahead and cook with some butter or some coconut oil or some bacon grease or some beef tallow, these good saturated fats that are meant to be cooked with. Stop cooking with these vegetable oils. And even olive oil that can be okay to use with food and be consumed, you don't want your clients to cook with olive oil, because when olive oil is raised to that level of heat, it turns into a toxic fat just like these other seed oils are. So it's okay to cook food and add olive oil to it afterward. You just don't want to have your clients cooking with olive oil. And step number 4 can be a tricky one as a health professional. You got to watch what you're doing because you don't want to get yourself in trouble. But a big improvement to the liver can be anytime you can help a client remove the need for a medication. You're not going to tell clients stop taking a medication that their doctor's having them taking, because you're going to get in a whole lot of trouble. And plus, a lot of these medications are helping the person, live. So you want the client to live, because that really helps the liver when they're living. So what you want to do is you want to help a client fix the underlying cause of a problem so they no longer need a medication. Then they can talk to their doctor about, hey, I'm fixed this problem, I'm not having this issue, can you help me get off of this medication? And the doctor can help them do that. But a lot of people have no idea that they can fix the underlying cause of a problem. They don't know. They're taking medications that are over the counter for like pain and acid reflux and allergies, and they don't know all these things can be fixed naturally by making different choices and fixing imbalances in the body. So if this is new information to you, my book Health Pro Results walks you through how to help clients look at their unique bio-individuality, understand the imbalances that are going on, and those imbalances that may be creating the health issues for them. So this book is available on Amazon, but below the video in the description, I'm going to put the link so you can download the whole book for free. Just get the whole book for free, and that'll help you understand how to do these things if you're not already doing that with your clients. But when a client can remove a medication, this is a huge burden that's being removed, because all medications are synthetic substances. If they're not synthetic, they can't be patented, and the manufacturer can't make billions of dollars, because a natural substance can't be patented. So all of these medications are synthetic. All synthetic substances are viewed as toxins in the body, so the liver is going to filter them out. So long ago, they put these medications in, the liver would filter it out, and the medication wouldn't do anything. Well, they learned to up the dosage enough to overwhelm the liver enough to keep enough of this substance in the body so that the medication can do the job that it's supposed to do to help the person out. So any medication in that regard is putting a burden on the liver. So when you can fix the underlying cause of a problem, a person doesn't need some over-the-counter pain medication for their headaches because you help them fix their headaches naturally. Now they're removing that burden from the liver. So when you can help a client fix the underlying cause of a problem, you're really helping the liver function more the way that it's supposed to function. So those are the 4 most effective steps in my opinion. Now there's plenty of other steps you can take to help a client improve liver function. There's even supplements, milk thistle is very popular. And I see milk thistle do some good things if the person is also taking other steps to improve liver function. They're not going to be able to down a bag of Cheetos with a little bit of milk thistle and have that disregard the problem that they're creating. That's not how it works. For most clients, they need to change the behaviors that are creating the problems in the first place before any other steps are going to bring about any benefits. Keep in mind that with some clients that are having major sugar cravings and carb cravings, they might have a hard time reducing their sugar intake, and you're going to have to help them fix the underlying cause of those cravings before they have the ability to qualify to reduce their junk food intake. So you may have to help clients through this, but the biggest issue you want to help them with is in thinning out the bile so that it can flow correctly and the liver can function the way that it wants to function. So for now, watch our video on 5 steps that can help clients thin bile, and you can get that moving in the right direction with your clients now. I can't wait to hear about your results.